It's getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, 'cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, 'cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, 'cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brain, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love, accepting that you're real precious. You're never gonna cramp my style, baby, 'cause I get a lot of pleasure. And if you wanna test my style, you better have a whole lot of measure, 'cause I'm a rock back chick, never tag along the never look back chick. Trendy, a little crazy, intelligently singing rock back chick. No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't wanna break no bone. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. It is 7 a.m. Good morning. This is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Maria Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, good morning to those of you in the Caribbean and viewing us on the live. Good morning, good morning. Julian Skeet, good morning. How are you today?
I am doing fabulous. It is 23 days from the Tobago Carnival weekend that takes place here. We are in October, and we are indeed continuing to give God thanks for life. You know, it's great to be alive.
That's right.
Great to be alive in these very challenging times, Ria.
Great, very true. And even as we look forward to Carnival, I need to put in here that this is, because this is the month of October, it is also Pink Month. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So it's, feel free to pink it out. I see you.
Yes, a little touch.
A little touch.
touch.
Candace is certainly not in pink this morning. But, as we continue on throughout the month, we're going to be having a lot of persons coming to discuss with us on breast cancer awareness. And I want to say here, early detection always is the best protection. All right, so need to put that in.
Really interesting enough, I saw some flyers coming out. Some of my friends were saying it's all about the carnival celebrations, and they haven't seen anything for campers yet, and I'm looking forward. And I saw some stuff come out about Remember When. Well, I'm hoping that we're going to have them on to give us a little more insight. The Far East and Northwest District of the SDA, yes, are calling all you out this morning. Make connections with us. We'd like to chat a little bit about that upcoming carnival camp that's started, because people think ultimately it's just about the feds, it's just about for those who are into the entertainment and calypso and steel pan and so on.
Yes.
But it has often been said that there is that wide catering across the board. So we look forward to having discussions even from that perspective as well.
And even right here, Julian, on Tobago Updates, you and I represent the both.
Yes,
so you are the fat wine and jam guy. That's right. And I'm the camp girl. All right. And that's just how it is for now. Let me say that's how it is for now, Julian. For now, Julian.
For now.
Okay.
For now. All right, viewers, at this point we head on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Ria. I am Candace Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 4th October 2022. The Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands is working with the Tobago House of Assembly and farmers to develop sustainable farming in Tobago. Chief Secretary Falia Gustin pointed out that the world is turning to organic and traditional farming methods. He said traditions such as free-range chickens are valued highly today, but Tobagonians must find a way to develop and monetize those practices. As a result, the THA partnered with the Netherlands, known for its innovation in sustainable farming methods in Europe, to assist farmers in refining traditional agriculture practices. Meanwhile, in her contribution to the ongoing budget debate for fiscal 2023, Tobago West MP Chamfa Kajo expressed her full support for the 4.3 allocation to the THA. However, Kajo cautioned more cannot be given until the THA receives greater autonomy. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine hoped for an allocation closer to 6.9% of the national budget, the maximum amount allowed by the DRC ruling. Meanwhile, the Tobago West MP announced that the government wants to purchase 9 new ATR planes for Caribbean Airlines, which will be used on the air bridge. And opposition MP Dinesh Rambali said Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's comments about subsidizing the air bridge are a slap in the face for Tobagonians. At a PNM meeting on Friday, Dr. Rowley responded to the unsatisfied voices regarding increases on the air and sea bridge by saying he would not subsidize the air bridge for Trinidadian men to take their mistresses to Tobago to commit adultery. Rambali stated he was appalled at the insensitivity of the comments made from a Tobagonian-born Prime Minister who ignored the plight of the people who depend on the air bridge to access necessary services in Trinidad. According to Rambali, if Dr. Rowley is not willing to listen to the people, then he should get on his bicycle and ride out of Tobago. And that was in news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Ria and Julian.
Thank you, Candice.
Thank you very much there, Candice. And Ria, as I heard Candice go into the news there about the PM and those statements, it's very interesting. And I ought to say, as one of my friends said to me, Julian, when we speak, we generally speak from a point of experience. So is it that the Prime Minister has friends who might, utilize the air bridge in that manner? And as such, it is an understanding. But I found it very interesting because even if, as the Prime Minister, you feel that there might be friends or people that utilize the air bridge in that manner, is it that you're suggesting that that's the vast majority of persons that utilize the air bridge in order to carry their practices to Trinidad and to Tobago from time to time? Very interesting perspective. Very, very interesting perspective indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, I really found it. I really found it unbelievable, but I suspect that's the nature. That's the nature of the politics.
The statement. I mean, honestly, that statement threw me for a loop. It jolted me into.
Yeah, because I'm just saying there's so many other things. People utilize the air bridge in terms of for school.
Why go there?
People utilize the air bridge heading across to Trinidad
Why?
to connect with family and friends.
Reasons.
People for
Why
medical
go
reasons.
there? Exactly.
Yeah, it seems to be the only reason that the Prime Minister had at hand for not supporting the subsidy in terms of the air bridge. But we'll see where it goes from there, because again it's also an interesting perspective from what we gather. The MP for Tobago West, Chamfa Kajo, is also saying that I'm getting the impression that she's satisfied with the allocation, and quite frankly, I don't think any Tobagonian should be satisfied. You may understand the circumstances based on what is available, but I don't think we should ever be satisfied with what is an allocation that we know for a fact is predominantly recurrent expenditure and therefore leaves very little in terms of actual development, when we know that there is extensive work to be done to move this island in a particular direction to really stand side by side with Trinidad and Tobago. Again, I find the budget of 2023 is a very upsetting thing for me. Very, very upsetting thing. And every time, I saw one of my colleagues post, a tip to the PNM MPs in the House, try not to give tips coming out of this budget, because every MP so far that you have heard speaking, it almost seems as though you're being cynical.
You're being mocked at, yeah.
So yes, it's hard and difficult times, and we understand that. But for God's sake, show some kind of heart. Show some kind of heart as we go through what is the challenging period, as opposed to putting forward suggestions that just seem far from practical or making jokes in relation to the operations. How does a business person take that kind of comment coming from the Prime Minister? Yeah. Those who travel in relation to business and so on and have no choice but to connect with Trinidad for goods and services.
You know, Julian, as I listen to you, I'm reminded of some sessions that the Chief Secretary would have had with members of the general Tobago public prior to him presenting the Tobago budget a few months ago. I think at this point it would be interesting to hear what the ordinary man on the street in Tobago has to say about last week's national budget presentation. I saw on social media where one person indicated it's not even the middle of the month. They got paid last week and already their salaries is finished. Yeah. And you're taking the same amount of money that you would have spent 3 months ago for groceries. And you realize here that in less than no time, that amount of money is not taking you through the entire month. It's taking you less than half of the month. So, I mean, to hear what persons have to say when it hits your pocket, when the reality hits your pocket, you know, how you feel about things.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'd really like to see the Prime Minister mandate MPs, go back into your communities, look for strategies and ways to provide support, pool as we would have in past times as a community. Those who are benefiting significantly, encourage them to contribute and to give back to help the less fortunate in society. That's the kind of mandate I want to see being put out. Mandate that MPs must spend a percentage of their salaries within their electoral districts towards funding and giving back at this time, helping persons in communities. Yes, it's not going to be able to help everybody in your electoral district, but by far it's going to be able to assist at least someone in the process. That's the kind of mandate I want to see coming out in these difficult times. Let's just show that caring side as we maneuver through these very challenging times here in 2022 going into 2023. All right, but we're going to head on into our birthday celebrations for this morning. Heading on into birthdays.
All right. Yeah.
All right, and we get started on screen this morning with Natoya Johnson Chapman. All right, wishing Natoya Johnson Chapman a happy birthday and God's continued blessings.
Then we've got Jody Melvin Limbeck celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday going out to you, Jody, from the Tobago Updates family.
On screen with us, LaDonna Fields. All right, and we know that LaDonna has been looking forward to celebrating her birthday, and therefore we want to wish you a happy birthday, and we trust that you enjoy the celebrations from today straight on in for the entire week. Man, make it a weekend, girl.
And our boy Marcus Daniel celebrating his birthday. Marcus, love going out to all of us individually, all of us here at Tobago Updates. Love you.
And indeed, the t-shirt speaks freedom. All right, Marcus, my brother, enjoy the birthday celebrations. All right, on screen with us, we have Damian Edwards. And wishing Damian Edwards a happy birthday.
Officially, he is known as Lawrence Stewart, but fondly, to friends and family, he is Ren. Happy birthday going out to you this morning, Lawrence Stewart, from the Tobago Updates family.
All right, and birthday shout-outs to my friend out there, Afia Giles Babes. All right, wishing you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings. All right, and this is my cousin on screen here, Osei O'Connor. Wishing you a happy birthday, Osei O'Connor, and God's continued blessings coming from the entire family.
All right, love going out this morning to Gavin Parsons. Happy birthday going out to you, Gavin, from the Tobago Updates family.
Happy birthday, Gavin. That's one of my colleagues in the Rotary International family out there. And who do we have on screen here with us this morning, Ria?
This is Baker.
Alexander Baker. All right, wishing you a happy birthday. And we trust that you have an enjoyable celebration.
All right, and we've got here Chanel Mondesi celebrating her birthday this morning. Happy birthday going out to you this morning, Chanel, from the Tobago Updates family. All right.
All right. our lineup there in terms of birthday celebrations happening today, and we want to give birthday shout outs. We're also checking in on the live. Happy birthday to Kareen Sinnett out there in Trinidad. Kareen Sinnett, birthday shout outs coming from Akima Thomas, wishing you a happy birthday. All right, and we also seeing Akima joining in to wish Afia Giles Baines, love you sis, happy birthday going out to you as well. We want to thank each and every one of you. We also have online with us this morning connecting, and I think it's connecting from out there somewhere in England. Yes, Sharina Hamid, and she's tuned in from Manchester, England, and we want to thank you so much for connecting with us. Lucretia on the live with us this morning, my very good friend Katie. Good morning, Gail, Jennifer, V. Simfred, Lady V. Simfred, good morning to you indeed. All right, I see Leslie Ann Ellis is in the mix this morning, Rhea. Leslie Ann Ellis, good morning to you, Leslie Ann Ellis.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for connecting with us, each and every one of you joining us on the live this morning. Rhea, who do we have coming up in the rundown this morning?
All right, so Julian, starting us off this morning, we are going to be chatting with Mr. Alan Stewart, who is the director for TEMA, which is the Tobago Emergency Management Agency. And this morning, the focus is as he's talking on TEMA's representation at a leadership forum, as well as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you might ask yourself, TEMA? Breast cancer awareness, yes, even TEMA is getting on board, and I'm so happy this morning that I wore my pink. All right, Julian, yes,
Rhea, I thought it was an error in the rundown.
I know.
Yes, but I look forward to having that conversation with Alan Stewart. Yes, TEMA getting involved. And we'll also have on with us Eva Rampersad, and she's the Executive Director of Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And this morning we're speaking about in terms of the coming to Tobago and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we look forward to those discussions with Eva Rampersad this morning, representing the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, so what's happening on the live, Julian? Give us some more updates on the live.
Well, I'm seeing in the mix with us this morning, Mattison Thomas, Audit Cowan, Bruce Wayne lined up with us this morning, Sharon Mills, Ricardo Warner, Brother Vernon Simon, morning shout outs to you. Auntie Dora Lyons out there, morning to you. In the mix with us this morning, and we want to thank each and every one of you for the continued love and support. Crystal Washington Torm, Mrs. Charles out there in Bethel, Susulan's area, want to shout out as well. Auntie Selma Skeet in the mix, Lisa James. We want to thank each and every one of you for the continued love and support, and more importantly, for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show. Thank you for connecting with us. Those of you joining us via TV, those joining us via radio, and those of you online, this is your opportunity to share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susulands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Tobago, get ready for the most insane Juve Cooler Fete to hit the island. Water, paint, powder, foam, coolers, and bikinis. Soca Jam. Sunday, October 23rd, Dwight York Stadium, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. Featuring Lyrical, Skinny Fabulous, Patrice Robert, Young Retta, Ira George, and Tempa. Come jam to Mighty Kush, Custodian International, Akeem and Salty, Caution Sounds, Trevlin and Keenan Die Hard, Selector Goofy, and Johnny Quest. Soca Jam. Sunday, October 23rd, Dwight York Stadium, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. Online tickets are available at islandetickets.com or visit Soca Jam box office. Follow our Instagram at Soca Official for our committee members. For more information, call our hotline at 295-8184.
never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, it is 7:19 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. In this segment, we are chatting with Alan Stewart, Director of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency. And this morning we are chatting in relation to TEMA Represents at the Leadership Forum. And then a little later on in the discussion, we'll also be chatting about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and TEMA's involvement for 2022. Morning to you, sir, and welcome.
Good morning to you, and good morning all of Tobago, and by extension those who are the enthusiasts who actually tune into this broadcast every morning.
All right.
So good morning to the world.
I must say, looking quite impressive with those choice of colors this morning.
Well, it's in keeping with the tone of what is TEMA is looking to celebrate with, the whole supporting the women as it relates to breast cancer. But my business here is to discuss, the International Disaster Resilient Leadership Forum. And in doing that, it's sometimes you have to look at how people are impacted in different ways as citizens of the world. So yes, the region would have seen represented coming from Tobago. Myself, I would have been asked by the United Nations Office of Disaster Reduction to present a paper at their International Leaders Forum, which was held in Incheon, South Korea, just on the 28th and the 29th of this month. I felt it was a perfect opportunity for us to allow Tobago to be on the world stage in regards to the work that we have been doing over the decades in regards to disaster risk management. Quite handsomely, I think I must say that we have embraced not just what the Sendai framework speak to, but the whole concept of the CDEMA in terms of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, their mandate towards comprehensive disaster management. It's one of the continuum that is, or I said one, but it's a continuum that is very challenging in the sense that the goalpost is constantly moving because hazards are becoming more prevalent. Climate change and climate variability has made that task a daunting one for many small island states across the world. And it was of interest that the international audience wanted to have a perspective as to how you guys are doing it. What do you do? So presenting at that forum allowed us to be able to seize a platform where we can speak at the forum, at the Leaders Forum, on the subject of at the local level as to what we are doing. And I think as a member or as a part of a small island developing state in the Caribbean, which has a very long history. Only a few moments ago, I was speaking about Hurricane Flora of 1963. These hydrometeorological events, Julian has taught us well, and with the blessings of the Tobago House of Assembly and the resources available to us, we have done sufficiently well that the international bodies that is responsible, the United Nations, for example, have recognized what we are doing and was willing to create a forum whereby we can share with the rest of the world.
And I want to say commendations particularly to TEMA, and we see you on screen here at the conference, and this was more than likely either day one. That was day one?
Yeah, that was day one. As I was part of that panel, right. Sitting in the front row. Very impressive layout. The Incheon is a very magnificent city in terms of the United Nations has classified it as one of the smart cities of the world. And before I leave this opportunity, I will really want to talk to that issue because it ties in together as to where we are in Tobago. I listen to you speaking about the budget and where we need to go, what it will take us to be there, the resources that is required. And I did mention, what we were able to do with the offerings of the Tobago House of Assembly through where we are today. And therefore, being at that forum, you got the opportunity, as I said earlier on, that the United Nations has designated the South Korea ancient city as one of the smart cities of the world. And there is this program that is leading towards 2020 that speaks about making cities smart.
I want you to tell us, just giving us some more details in terms of explaining. We know the concept and the brand of a smart city, but what does that really mean in terms of where we are heading, particularly in the Tobago space?
That's a very interesting thought, in terms of a question, well aligned, in the sense that resiliency is, to me, the cornerstone of how well you coexist on the planet. We talk about 2022, and when people speak to me about development, the first thing comes to mind is the sustainability of that development. And we have to be able to absorb the shocks. I said earlier on that, we share the surface of the planet with a number of hazards. Some that are very prevalent to us is that in the making of what you may consider to be hydrometeorological events. And then you live in a very seismic zone. So it means, therefore, that as you develop, it's imperative for you to take the necessary step to build strong, to build with a certain level of resistivity in terms of being able to have that resilient built into your public investment policies, that you ensure that your roadworks are done to a level that they could withstand the type of tractions that takes place upon them. And that we are not only speaking about road traffic, we are also speaking about, it seems as though in the region, our roadways are more like canals these days, whereby they undertake a lot of water because of climate change. So you're seeing these variabilities taking place, these high level as a result of what is happening with the ozone and the heating up of the atmosphere, and all that is happening. We have to understand that resilience becomes the cornerstone of how we will get through these shocks. And so as we narrow in, as we speak further to our development, we must undertake those precepts. So the concept of a smart city speaks to the issues as to technology allowing the AIs, allowing the ICT products to be able to intertwine with your standard of living and the way in which you choose to live, to ensure that people get by with ease, but at the same time there's resiliency built in terms of early warning systems as to how you are alerted of dangers. For example, you crossing the road every day, there's a propensity based on the traffic that you could be knocked down, and it's the same thing goes with hazards. The probability that you live in a seismic, there's a possibility that there's going to be an earthquake. There's a possibility that there can be a tsunami. There's a possibility that you will always have hurricanes in these regions. And therefore, it is only sensible that government leadership take us down that path where you have a certain level of robustivity built into whatever you are doing in your infrastructure. That is what makes it smart. The other thing is that the technology that you saw in that, I was very privileged on the final day to see a paper coming around with a tour. And one of the areas of that tour spoke about going to an integrated command center. Immediately, I light up. I wanted that. So I give myself to the tour, and I was, bewildered. I was definitely taken aback by the level when they speak about smart city. What are they speaking about? In other words, what this center is able to do is to coordinate activities of 5 different jurisdictions of South Korea, 5 different cities, and pull all the information, all the CCTV systems, just crossing the roadway. We know about pressing a button to cross the road. Yes. No, you don't have that. You have the city operating in a very intelligent way, whereby I did something on maps to find exactly where the convention is located from my hotel. And immediately I'm seeing the bus coming up and they're telling you the bus will be in the next 15 minutes, the next one will be in 8 minutes, things like that. So the city becomes very intelligent where knowledge is concerned, a movement of information, how people behave and how people operate. One of the fantastic feature of the city itself speak to an area called Central Park, where they would have converted the entire use reclaim land. In the first instance, I understand it was a 20-year project where they use reclaim land to build an airport. And also in the area of leading to Seoul, connecting Seoul to this airport and also Encheon, you have this major highway across the sea, about 17 kilometers in length. These are fantastic features of development where human beings at this stage in our development in the world are taking steps. And that speaks to the budget, in terms of where Tobago is in all of this, in terms of if we are to arrive at a certain place in our development as we march time with 2022, have we done enough in order to be able to be competitive? Have we been doing enough in order for us to appear to be stronger? These storms that are coming our way are coming furious, as you can see. At this stage, Julian, the storms are not developing this month going forward. You're not seeing them since the month of September. They are developing just close to us. Wow. So it means, therefore, that alerting mechanisms, being able to track and understand what is going on, having a better informed society that understands exactly terminologies as it relates to storm, we have to do more in our education.
As we speak to, as you made mention of the fact in terms of the, storms and weather alerts and so on, the technology has done us so well that you find some persons taking it for granted now because, people make this statement almost every other day or every other week. There's a weather advisory. And then sometimes there's a weather advisory saying there's going to be heavy rain, there's going to be adverse weather, and then we have a sunny day. How do you respond to persons in terms of still giving it, the kind of relevance, notwithstanding that we have more information and the technology is allowing us to be more alert now, to not get comfortable and to sideline these very important advisories that come out on a regular basis?
A very interesting remark. And I will answer it this way. The meteorological science is a very challenging one. And these islands of the Caribbean, especially the Windward Islands, these archipelagos of islands. Take, for example, Tobago. We are only 116 square miles. We are only 300 square kilometers in terms of our size. It is very, very difficult for that type of science to allow itself to be able to know exactly how or whether it's going to drop off. What is our territory to us? I will ask you to think about, I just mentioned 316 square miles. But when you talk about the interests of Trinidad and Tobago, it is quite more than that. But we are concerned about land and what is the exposure. And it's very difficult sometimes for the meteorological service to be able to make those judgments because of these small islands. They run in the archipelagos of islands run in more a north to south kind of configuration. So when you have a tropical weather system, for example, a tropical disturbance, the radius of winds coming out of it sometimes will not stretch beyond 40 miles. So it's very easy for a storm to pass through between Trinidad and Tobago without even touching, or pass through between Tobago and, use a better example, between us and Barbados without touching any of the islands, because the radius of it maybe just goes out to about 20 miles from the center. So you have these phenomenal challenges. But the meteorological service have to be considered to be brave. They have to continue to do what they are doing. It is always easy, Julian, to take off the switch. But putting it on in the dark is something else. You will not get what you're looking for. And therefore, it's better to stand down than to, when the thing is happening, that's the time you're trying to turn on the switch. And therefore, it is always advisable that we do what is absolutely necessary to protect life or livelihoods, properties, and ensure that our safety of what we have is intact. So it's always good to have the early warning system. What are our exposures? We have buildings that are taking place. You have schools that are taking place. You have people that are traversing the streets. You have businesses that are open. and therefore transportation are at risk. When you speak to the issues of traversing from places like Palatavia to Scarborough with slope conditions under severe weather. So the advice is always wise to give it. If it didn't happen, you say thank God and you move on and you plan for it for another time. The weather system that passed us around the 15th of this month, Julian, is what is known as Ian, that is causing chaos. It became a major storm, a category of in excess of, I think it went up to category 4 before it made landfall on the U.S. soil. So we take things for granted sometimes, but it's important that we allow wisdom and allow sense to guide our judgment going forward. These sometimes they are minor voices who will say things like that, but the majority of our population is quite sensible. They know we are doing the right thing. They know the meteorological service is doing the right thing.
So we still have a critical responsibility to ensure that we are paying attention to these advisories, especially within these times. Let's be grateful for the technology that now gives us the kind of advance notice. We want to touch very quickly as well on the happenings with TEMA for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. What's happening from the end with TEMA in terms of joining in with this initiative?
Over the past 2 or 3 years, I recognize the women at TEMA have joined the battle as it relates to breast cancer. It has involved us, so I was mandated to avoid flogging, to make sure I speak to that, that
the importance of the awareness.
The importance of the awareness, women are the bedrock of our society, and they bring something to the table, especially when I look at the women at TEMA in terms of what they sacrifice. I know what it is sometimes when it makes the afternoon. Up to yesterday, I got a call, I have to go and get the kids from school. And as a manager, you have to understand what that means. How do you pay attention to those issues? The male of the society, sometimes we don't understand the sacrifices now that women have found themselves in the workplace, the impact of it. And so it has been very useful that, over the past 2-3 years that TEMA and the women have been doing this. I make sure I put on my pink this today as they want to celebrate the entire month. Joining, we have seen women, braving this dreaded disease called cancer. And it is very obvious that it's important for us to look at breast cancer in a particular way. And, women, if you were to consider the species of men on the planet, without women, we'll be worthless. And I always say that men will be definitely worthless had it not been for women around with them. Take when you take a haircut, when you look the way I look, when you look the way you look.
Yes.
It's all about
give them the kudos.
Yeah, they make sure you're well tucked in, your seams are standing up, things like that, and you look upright and things like that. So we have to be able
Rhea
to
Richardson George will certainly agree that Rhea Richardson George will certainly agree that women play that critical role
in the lives of and breast cancer is one of the eroding things of the joy of men, and therefore it's important for us to stand behind our women, give them the necessary support, show them the type of love that they deserve going forward, and to make sure that they they feel very special. It's a very challenging period in a woman's life when, as a adult male, I could identify with these things. You share, the intimacy with a woman at a certain age of your life, and you get to understand better these conditions that they are faced with from time to time. Their very beauty sometimes are being affected by these things, and the emotional impact is very telling. So it's important for us to embrace our women in a particular way, make them feel strong, make them feel, as they go through these passages of their life, feel very confident. So we encourage all of Tobago to join with TEMA, wear some pink during the month of October. October is the better set of the men on the planet, born in October as well. I guess we were best fed breastfed,
breastfed.
And
breastfed. And these are some of your staff members on screen.
That's right, already in pink. That's, oh my goodness, so that's the way we do it. It's a family affair, and we ensure that we support each other. They give themselves to the male in the society. I always give men their preps, in terms of, we are the ones that build this place, deliver it, make it what it looks, but the woman takes care of it.
Yes.
Therefore, we have to support them during this time of this month of breast cancer. Let us rally behind them and give them the necessary support.
And you have immediately sent our Facebook and social media off. We're only seeing hearts and caring signs going up in terms of the emotions being spelled out. And I think quite naturally it comes as a result of the fact that it's wanting to hear this level of support, but coming from a man, in terms of it touches in a different kind of way to remind the ladies out there that yes, we care. Yes, we have that, we want to show you that level of support in terms of going forward. And I want to say kudos to you, particularly in relation to TEMA in particular, which traditionally when you spoke about emergency management perhaps years ago, it appeared just to be a male-dominated area. And TEMA is definitely giving that clear example of that balance between men and women working in emergency mode to support.
Julia, I would like to support you on that, in the sense that I think while we all have our strengths, while we all have our strengths and our weaknesses, the male, what the female at TEMA or in disaster management, you see it where voluntarism is concerned, they are able to bring their strength to that level of the disaster management, risk management area. You may not always see them very fronting in the area of emergency response in the field work, but behind the scenes in terms of the coordination, the tools that are utilized for making disaster risk management work for us. Women can easily dominate those areas and make it very easy because of not just their soft skills, but their ability, their analytical skills, and the way in which they are able to maneuver information in a particular way. The whole game about disaster management is about how you treat with information. And women are very skilled at that, and therefore it is one of the areas that they excel with the agency. And the agency, I must say, have created that avenue for them to showcase that natural strength that they are endowed with.
All right. Thank you very much there for joining us on set. And we just want to pull up that flyer very quickly again. Again, reminding persons that TEMA is promoting in this month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Join the TEMA staff by getting pinked for the entire month of October. Yes, and indeed the director of TEMA has started it this morning. Tie and all. All right, let's stand in solidarity for those fighting this disease, or for anyone who has lost a loved one. You have the opportunity to send your pictures at temapublicrelations@gmail.com. That's temapublicrelations@gmail.com to be highlighted on TEMA's Facebook page. So you're really encouraged, and they're giving you tips as well. Remember to go for your mammogram screening, do regular breast checks, contribute to the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, and raise breast cancer awareness. So we want to thank you very much, Alan Stewart, the director of TEMA, for joining us on set here this morning, speaking to TEMA's representation at the Leadership Conference, which took place out there in Korea, and also giving us some highlights in relation to TEMA's response to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Interesting combination there. TEMA's response to Breast Cancer Awareness Month here for 2022. All right, viewers, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support, and those of you connecting. And I must pull out one of those comments that came in from Roger Stewart. I suspect Alan Stewart knows him. Good morning to my big brother. Nice seeing you on air. All right, so commendations coming in from the family. Out there. All right. So thank you very much again, Mr. Alan Stewart, for joining us on set here at the Tobago Updates morning show. Viewers, we want to thank you for the continued love and support, and to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the light, share the light, share the light.
Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. This world is getting so.
We are Roman we need for good fed. We are plenty bacchanal. Hate to see people stressing. Them kind of thing that's get me mad when you see a over carnival.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
You're moving your ways,
Entertainment. Yes, we're bringing it to you. Tobago Updates. It's all about the new entertainment show, the VIP Experience, hosted by your boy Snoopy. Tune in every Wednesday from 8 p.m. and on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. We're bringing to you the best Tobago has to offer. We're showcasing interviews, music, and everything that is fun. So join me on Tobago Updates for the VIP Experience. Yeah, man.
watch how you're backing on me. Like about to overload. Watch them sexy Bago woman. Beauty from head to toes in the sun. Skin tone don't need no lotion.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Welcome back, viewers. This is the Tobago Updates morning show. And at this time, we are chatting about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. It's all about pink, yes. And to chat with us on what's coming up with regards to the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago, we've got the Executive Director, Miss Eva Rampersad, online with us. Eva, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's good to see you, and I see that you are en route. You're not at home, you're not at the office just yet, but you're with us.
Not just yet. Yes,
right.
Absolutely. When someone calls to talk to us, Sister Island of Tobago, you have to answer. You have to make it happen, and I'm very honored to be with you this morning.
All right, well, we're happy to hear.
Ria. That's the attitude.
That's right.
I'm loving Eva Rampersad already. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
All right, so Eva, chat with us this morning on, in fact, let's start off with talking about the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago coming to Tobago. Wasn't there an office in Tobago at one point in time?
Yes. So I love where you start, and the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago has a rich history. Many people don't know that we are an NGO, and we've been in existence since 1956. And we were the ones that actually worked with government to implement a family planning program. And that's why to today, many people mistake us for a government agency when in truth and in fact we're an NGO. And over the years, we continue to be a partner of the state. And therefore, our work in Tobago was always part of what we do and who we identify as. So Tobago has always been an important partner. And yes, we actually do have a location in Tobago. It's on Bacolet Street. However, it's in need of some TLC. And with the onset of COVID, it just made things a lot difficult for us. However, what we did is that we pivoted and we attempted to find different ways to continue to provide services to Tobago. So what we do is ever so often doing. We try to do it as every other month to try to come back to Tobago to meet our clients and to actually grow our clientele to continue to provide the services in Tobago. So our team would be coming over on Thursday and Friday to be able to provide services. And we're also working with an important partner called MPAC. MPAC is an organization that provides psychological support services, and they are one of our Spotlight Initiative partners. So we are actually working in tandem with the partners of Tobago.
All right, Eva, very quickly here. Were you not operating out of, was the organization not operating out of the Scarborough Health Center, which is located out at Backlet at one, or quite recently?
So actually, that's a very good question, and it demonstrates our partnership with government. What we did is work with the Tobago House of Assembly to establish what is known as the Pink Room. And at the Pink Room, women and girls are able to access sexual and reproductive health services with particular emphasis on pap smears.
All right. The Pink Room was located out at Louisdor or Delaford, Delaford in the east. But I'm talking about... Right, but I'm talking about working out of the Scarborough Health Center located out at Backlet under Nurse Rose Ambrose.
Yes, so that would have been family planning, but our area is in need of some repairs to be able to provide the optimal service and quality care that we need to provide. So we're currently working with the Tobago House of Assembly as well as other partners in order to be able to bring that facility up to speed.
Okay.
All right. Tell us, Eva, what can we look forward to in this month with your visit in coming to Tobago?
Wonderful. So we are actually bringing over a bilingual team. So we are able to cater for locals as well as Spanish-speaking migrants located in Tobago. We would be offering a suite of services with an emphasis on cervical cancer screens, manual breast exams. You'd be able to get your vitals, your weight check, your glucose checks, HIV testing as well. We'd be able to provide all those services to you. And in order to what we're trying to do as well is to adhere to COVID-19 protocols. So we're doing our best to operate by appointment so that people don't wait too long, as well as we maintain safety for all. So if you're interested, you can contact 292-3411 to get your appointment.
So just remind us of the number there again.
Sure, 292-3411.
All right. Now, Eva, you mentioned here some of the screening that will be taking place. Tell us this morning, or tell our viewers this morning, the importance of early screening, early detection.
Oh, my goodness. Ria, that is such an important question. Our rates of cervical cancer and breast cancer are significantly high. And you know, there's a long time saying prevention is better than cure. And it's important for us to have early detection. And that is why we encourage women and girls, particularly if you're sexually active, to come out and get screened. It's important because early detection, you have a higher chance of survival. In the case of cervical cancer screen, it is one of those cancers that's curable once detected at a very, very early stage. So it's important that you come out and get screened. It's beautiful to know because then you're able to act before it's too late. Oftentimes, women lose their lives. We lose our mothers. We lose our sisters. We lose our children because it is too late. Because by the time you find out, there is nothing that you can do, or there's little that you can do. But with early detection, early screening, you are able to act. You're able to be able to do preventative care. You're also able to detect early and be able to have a greater chance of survival.
If I wanted to elaborate a little bit on the, in starting, you made the point there, particularly if you're sexually active. Give us the connection with that that leads to, in terms of where the exposure can exist.
Beautiful question. So with cervical cancer is primarily passed on by HPV, the human papilloma virus, which is primarily transmitted through sexual activity. So it's very, very important that if you're sexually active, that you are screened for HPV. You do your pap smears every year to be able to detect, to have early detection.
All right. Now, you mentioned a little while ago here, even as Julian asked that question about early sexual activity, those persons who are sexually active. But I want to ask you here about early sexual activity for those persons who have started or wanting to start, have early sexual activity. So teenagers who engage in sexual activity, and the link between early sexual activity and cervical cancer.
Wonderful question, Ria. So early sexual activity actually increases your likelihood of not just contracting HPV and leading to cervical cancer, but you actually increase your risk for other sexually transmitted infections as well as other sexual and reproductive health challenges. So it's very, very important to delay your sexual debut until your body is fully developed, as well as you're at a point in time where you're able to deal with the consequences of sex. And at family planning, that's some of the things that we do. We actually engage our young people to talk to them around healthy sexual practices and delaying sexual debut and the benefits of doing that. So we work as well with our young people. We work with our parents as well to be able to have those difficult conversations with our young people, because let's be real, it's not very easy to talk to a young person. It's not very easy for a parent to talk to a young person, and it's a skill set. So at family planning, what we do is that we work with the parents or adult caregiver, because sometimes it's not just mommy or daddy, it's auntie, it's uncle, it's grandma, it's a neighbor who is playing this parenting role. And we work with that adult caregiver as well as the young person to develop that knowledge level, as well as the capacity, the soft skills that we are able to lead healthier sexual and reproductive health lives.
And this would be some of the information that would be made available for your visit here in the Tobago space within October.
Not only just in October, but that's something that we do throughout. And you can call us at our hotline 292-3411. We are able to provide you information there, because during COVID-19, what we were able to do is pivot beyond our static locations. So what we also do is that we also offer telehealth services. We try as much as possible to bridge that demand, the demand for service and access to us as much. So don't hesitate, pick up the phone, make a call. If you don't feel comfortable making a call, you can send us a WhatsApp message, and there will be someone on the other side to answer.
All right, Eva, very quickly here. When we talk breast cancer, there is a perception that we are talking only about women. But recent studies have shown, and you can correct me if I'm wrong and give us some more information on that, that men can also contract breast cancer.
Yes, that is correct. Because men actually have that tissue in that part of your body, yes, there is a possibility for men to develop breast cancer. So yes, it's important for men to pay attention to their sexual and reproductive health as well.
All
right. Before you leave this morning, we want you to remind our viewers and listeners once again the contact information, what dates and what's the location that they'd be able to connect with you all here in Tobago.
Wonderful. So that number again is 292-3411. We would be at MPAC's office, and actually we'd be at two different locations. So please call 292-3411 to get more information on the location closest to you and to get your appointment today. We would be there on Thursday and Friday of this week.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. And that's for the entire day?
Yes, definitely the entire day.
All right. Thank you so much again, Eva, for connecting with us here. Ria certainly bringing us some insight and information as we get started here with the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I know, Ria, you are indeed a living example of really seeking to be as responsible as possible, especially at this point in terms of, treating with detection and so on. And I know you always emphasize that. Yes. Nothing like early detection and then taking, of course, the responsible action with it.
Definitely. Throughout social media, there's the post about filling up a bobby. And we say it, it sounds funny, but it is the truth. Feel your breast, feel up your bubby, feel up what you call it, tete, breast, bubby, boobs, whatever you want to feel a boob, feel it, squeeze it, and because you know your body, and your fingers are able to detect when something is off, when something is there now that wasn't there a month ago. So, feel your breast, feel your boobs, they belong to you. All right?
Yeah, and I think the words of Valerie Gray indicated, great interview, very informative, because it's so important for people to be reminded of this kind of information, and especially for persons who weren't aware at all, to get the information first and foremost, because as you're rightfully saying, those are things that are taken for granted. And if I'm not mistaken, Rhea, with the same Family Planning Association, they can give you tips in terms of checking and so on, in terms of what you're feeling for and that kind of thing.
Most definitely.
So it is a serious kind of responsibility, and it starts right at home with you. As Rhea is rightfully saying, you will more than likely be the very first person to know if something is feeling different in relation to your body. And therefore, we want to ask you to be quite responsible, particularly at this time where we're highlighting the awareness for breast cancer awareness month. And we look forward to bringing you the information and details here as we go forward. All right, so we want to thank each and every one of you, those on Gael, M&E TV, those listeners on Smash Radio, Street 91.9 FM, and those of you connecting with us via social media. And comments coming in still. We are surprised to hear men as well suffer in this area. So really good information coming out there. Thank you so much to each and every one of you joining and connecting with us this morning. I see my friend out there on the live, Marilyn Spence, Joe Field, morning to you, Hollis Charles, Earl Murray Beard in the mix, Ula Hazel, Kurt Salandi also in the mix with us this morning. We want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to connect with us and for choosing the Tobago Updates morning show.
All right, and we're going to leave it there today, Julian. But a special good morning going out this morning to Valerie Gray, Antidora Lyons, two daughters of the soil, one from the east and one from the west end. Good morning to you guys. And remember, feel your boobs today. Feel your boobs today. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the month of October, is about awareness, early detection. So don't be afraid. And if you've got questions and concerns, make the call. Call someone. And that number, again, I've got to remind you here, call to make that appointment. And that number is 292-3411 to make your appointment for the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago, here for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. So have a great day, Tobago. Remember, stay safe.
Quick shout out, Cindy Taylor, Denell Williams, Akisi London, morning. Stay safe, Tobago.
We head over to GMT with Candace.
Bye-bye.
I just want the microphone. Morning. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning. Good morning. What is
giant African snail is an invasive species. It feasts on over 500 types of plants, including vegetable and ornamental crops, fruit trees, and forest trees. The snail is also a carrier of the rat-lung worm, a parasite that can cause meningitis in humans. It's therefore a serious threat to agriculture, public health, and the economy. In light of recent sightings of the creature in the Mount Grace and Wim communities, a giant African snail community meeting was held at Mount Grace Community Center. This awareness session shared a lot of critical information to ensure residents are fully up to date on the issue.
Once you find one, it requires a response. Remember, the giant African snail is a hermaphrodite, and a single snail can start a population in this space. The earlier you report the sighting, the higher the likelihood of a speedy eradication. The longer you take to report the pest, the population continues to grow, they continue to spread and establish themselves.
One giant African snail can produce over 1,000 eggs annually. Once the snails get established in an area, they are difficult to manage and expensive to eradicate. Community action groups is one way to help officers raise awareness about the snail and to assist in scheduled checks. Forming an action group was a major objective of the community meeting.
This is necessary because, of course, if the infestation is within the community, it is directly going to affect households, businesses in the community by extension. Remember, there's the public health risk as well with the rat lungworm being vectored by the giant African snail. So therefore, it is critical for the community to work along with the division to be effective at reducing the population initially and eventually eradicating.
Residents appreciated learning about the features and behaviors of this pest. They are also interested in the measures and the partnerships needed to control the giant African snail.
I want to thank the Division of Agriculture for, your alertness in recognizing the sighting and coming to the community especially to ensure that we have buy-in and we can have the kind of partnership that would allow for success.
Leaving here with the information that was put out, it really and truly propelled me to be proactive now, to inform more persons about what needs to be done and what collaboration could happen for us to be greater informed as to how to eradicate this before it gets out of control.
For more information or to report sightings of the giant African snail, WhatsApp the Plant Protection Hotline at 482-7528 or call the Food Crop Production Office at 639-4616.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. The Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands is working with the Tobago House of Assembly and farmers towards developing sustainable farming in Tobago. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine pointed out that the world is turning to organic and traditional farming methods. He said traditions such as having free-range chickens are valued highly today, but Tobagonians must find a way to develop and monetize those practices. As a result, the THA partnered with the Netherlands, known for its innovation in sustainable farming methods in Europe, to assist farmers in refining traditional agriculture practices. Meanwhile, in her contribution to the ongoing budget debate for fiscal 2023, Tobago West MP Shampa Kajur expressed her full support for the 4.3% allocation to the THA. However, Kajur cautioned more could not be given until the THA gets greater autonomy. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine hoped for an allocation closer to 6.9% of the national budget, the maximum amount allowed by the DRC ruling. Meanwhile, The Tobago West MP announced that the government wants to purchase 9 new ATR planes for Caribbean Airlines, which will be used on the air bridge. And the opposition MP Dinesh Rambali said Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's comments about subsidizing the air bridge are a slap in the face for Tobagonians. At a PNM meeting on Friday, Dr. Rowley responded to unsatisfied voices regarding increases on the air and sea bridge by saying he would not subsidize the air bridge for Trinidadian men to take their mistresses to Tobago to commit adultery. Rambali stated he was appalled at the insensitivity of the comments from a Tobagonian-born Prime Minister who ignored the plight of the people who depend on the air bridge to access necessary services in Trinidad. According to Rambali, if Dr. Rowley is not willing to listen to the people, then he should get on a bicycle and ride out of Tobago. And that was the news in 90 seconds. And, of course, leading up from a top story today in regards to changing the way that we treat with farming and to, see how we can maximize on those traditions of old. We are going to be talking with Mr. Owen Dillon from TADCO, and of course, he is the Director of Primary Production Crops. A special good morning and welcome to you, sir. How are you doing?
Very good this morning.
Great.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
So let's get started with, just this collaboration with the Embassy for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. How did this partnership come about for us to sort of, see how we can revitalize our agriculture sector?
Good morning again, and thanks for having me this morning. I believe the collaboration came about because of the intervention of our Chief Secretary reaching out to the Embassy. So based on that collaboration, they have decided to have this workshop available and discussion, starting look at discussion so we can move the sector forward into the
Great. And, so we had one of the conferences yesterday, and I know it lasted all day. What were some of the highlights coming out of it?
Well, I cannot say for sure all of the highlights that I've said exactly what I read. I was not there to know exactly what transpired, but based on information I received,
Okay, well, unfortunately, we just have to take a slight break right now and we fix the technical difficulties.
We party till we drop down there with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Tobago, get ready for the most insane Juve Cooler Fete to hit the island. Water, paint, powder, foam, coolers, and bikinis. Soca Jam. Sunday, October 23rd, Dwight York Stadium, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. Featuring Lyrical, Skinny Fabulous, Patrice Robert, Young Greta, Ira George, and Tempa. Come jam to Mighty Kush, Custodian International, Akeem and Salty, Caution Sounds, Trevlin and Keenan Die Hard, Selector Goofy, and Johnny Quest. Soca Jam. Sunday, October 23rd, Dwight York Stadium, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. Online tickets are available at islandetickets.com or visit Soca Jam box office. Follow our Instagram at Soca Official for our committee members. For more information, call our hotline at 295-8184.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Okay, of course, welcome back, and we apologize for those technical difficulties earlier. But Mr. Owen Dillon is on the line with us, and of course, he is the Director of Primary Production Crops at TADCO. Right, so Mr. Dillon, well, before we had to move to the break, now you were talking to us about just some of the things that came out of the conference yesterday.
Yes, I do. I recognize the Chief Secretary highlight the need for us to go back to where we once was in terms of the organizational way, in terms of and doing things or the chemicals. We knew about it before, and that time it was the bread. So I think it's very easy for them to understand if we once knew, which is healthy for the people at the end of the day.
Now, what are some of those practices? I know the Chief Secretary mentioned, the eggs that you get from free-range chickens, but what are some of those other practices that we grew up on that are being looked at as something that we can develop and use in a large-scale way?
For example, before we did our own corn and peas. We did our corn before peas together without no chemical inputs. And Tobago was known for its pigeon peas with no chemical inputs. And we can return to the days where we can commercialize the pigeon peas on the island. We can own cornmeal, our own flour. We are now producing more cassava on the island. So those are the to return to. Instead of waiting to be import flakes, we can make farine from cassava and reduce the import. Some of the things we need to return to. We have a lot of fruits on the island. We can make our own fruit juice. We can dehydrate some of the fruits, make candies. There are a lot of things on the island we can return to in a meaningful way. And we can monetize them to make money as businessmen.
And what would it take for us to, monetize it? Or what would it take for us to refocus into, let's say, peas and corn?
Okay, land is very important. We need to have to make lands available to the farmers so they can plant in a meaningful way, in a commercial way. We already have Tatco that is adding value to most of the products, for example, cassava. Tatco is doing a lot of value added to products on the island already. So in terms of value added, the opportunity is there. It's just for us to target the primary production and increase the value added product on the island.
Okay. And so other than, corn and peas, what else can we do?
We can do sweet potato. We are now importing sesame seeds. We want to produce our own bene. We can reduce the bene to our original bene, which is of a better quality. So that is something we can do. Beetroot, we can produce our own beetroot. There are a lot of stuff we did before. Sweet potato, dashing, cassava, all those things were done before. Bananas, planting. We need to structure it, come up with good policies, so we can have a good market at the end of the day.
Now, a major point of that collaboration with the Netherlands is that of the idea of sustainability and incorporating some, the technology with traditional farming methods. Was there anything that came out as to what we can use to enhance those traditional methods that we have here in Tobago?
I think the information is very timely. It's just for us to get a serious, if an individual who are serious, get them to drill on some more and make the necessary technologies that are available expose to them some of the techniques that they're not acquainted with, and get on board with them. There are people who are interested, and because of the difficulty we now face, people don't have a choice than to adapt to some of the possibilities at this point in time.
Now, you spoke to land being a challenge and for us to, improve on what we produce. How far along are we in sorting out some of those land issues so that persons that are serious about farming can have access to that land?
It has to do with land management. Most of the lands, as you're aware, are owned by the state and the island. The state lands are under land management, so they will have to come up with a policy how it would distributing the lands. That has nothing to do with us as farmers. It has to do with the state and with the state agency, land management.
And with previous consultations engaged by TADCO, how big is the group of serious farmers in Tobago?
We are serious already signing contracts with TADCO real estate company. So we have it going. We are already to do with the farmers. We are to help farmers to Trinidad to expose them to cassava production in a meaningful way. So we are on the actually start going already. We are going to get the company, the production up and running very, very soon. Some farmers are already in production at this point in time.
That's great news to hear. And in terms of getting young farmers on board, because we know a lot of our farming population here in Tobago is older persons. Now, are we getting enough young people on board to assist in the agriculture drive?
Yes, I can say yes. It's very encouraging because we just started our poultry program, poultry initiative, and a lot of young folks would have come forward and shown interest in the agricultural sector on the island at this point in time. Some of the folks who have gone on to the training are very, very young folks. So it's very encouraging. And what we need as adults need to do is to show the younger folks, the benefit of agriculture. Show them the dollars and cents. Young people want to see money now. So you got to explain it to them and show them the dollars and cents at the end of the day.
We have World Food Day coming up pretty soon. And I know there's a lot of activities happening in the lead up to World Food Day in terms of, showing just different methods and so on. Can you tell me, how much TADCO is involved with some of these initiatives towards World Food Day?
We are very much involved in World Food Day because, we are the primary force to work with at this point in time in terms of agro processing on the island. So we'll be participating, and as a matter of fact, the days leading up to World Food Day, we will be Tobago Shopper Food Hub launch on the 17th, where Tobago processors can come and show forth their products. That will be at the former market at Orange Road. That will be up and running. That will be managed by TADCO. So we are encouraging and asking all agro processors to come forward, bring forward their products for show and for sale at the hub, and the hub will be going continuously after it's open on the 19th. So TADCO is there giving support to the farmers.
So when will that agriculture hub begin?
It's going to be launched on the 17th. On the 17th of October, and thereafter continue at that location.
Okay.
To be the Shop Park Food Hub, managed by.
Is there an end date? So are we going to see this as a permanent fixture within our space, or is this just for a limited time?
No. Going forward, we're going to be there continuously. We are launching at this time, and going forward, we're going to be there continuously, week after week. Going forward, you're going to be a showpiece of Tobago. Going to Tobago Food Hub. You can come and get all your local cuisine any time of the day, from the morning into the night, daily.
Okay, great. And now coming off of the 2023 budget that was presented in the House last Monday, what are your views in terms of the agriculture measures mentioned? Was there anything different this year in terms of, aiding the agriculture industry to be bigger and better and be that provider of food for our country?
You see, the measures in the budget is very difficult for some farmers to access those initiatives.
All right, well, we seem to be having some technical difficulties with Mr. Dillon. So we'll just take a quick break and we'll be right back after this.
If you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero. Champion. Fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susalands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Now joining me online is Dr. Shane Mohammed, who, of course, is we know him as our friendly economist, our friendly political analyst, who should be just part of our staff by now. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Candice. How are you?
I am great. Now, Dr. Shane Mohammed, you have been making some waves on social media. You just did a video on Sunday responding, I should say, to some of the comments made by some of our government MPs in regards to, who should, that the population should go back to co-pod riding bicycles and that sort of thing. And you label those comments as insensitive and out of touch. So can I just get your elaboration on those things?
Candice, my issue is the fact that these ministers that are speaking out, I'm very disappointed to hear that, especially with regard to Mr. Scotland. I was very disappointed to hear Mr. Scotland talk about pulpit and bicycle. I was also very disappointed to hear that Shamfa, she behaved in a manner with the media that it was unbecoming of a minister, and then Mr. Gonzalez and with the macaroni pie. And let me tell you something. You see, when government starts to dictate and wants to be able to dictate what a country is, what citizens of a country should or should not enjoy as a basic right, then we are walking down into a very dark place in our politics. And that is not demonstration of democracy, but policy. And while it is, and I saw another video last night where Stuart Young said if he was a millionaire. I mean, it is ludicrous to say the least, to believe that is not a millionaire. And even if he's not a millionaire, he may be close to a millionaire. But when you are driving vehicles that cost on average of $1 million, and you don't have two, that tells me that you are not only benefiting from the government, the perks of being a government minister, but even after you leave office and demit office, you can most definitely sustain the same lifestyle. You cannot want to run a country and then run a country but run it down. We don't run down countries in the 21st century. Countries that are run down are led by dictators, and they are led by dictators, autocratic leaders, and they are led by systems that give us no level of democratic right and democratic freedom. And we can go as very close as Venezuela, or we can go as far as Iran, where we have women standing up for the rights of women and society by cutting and shaving their heads, right? So the point is this.
Oh my, okay, so we've seen to loss Dr. Mohammed as well. And of course, Dr. Mohammed was pointing to a number of statements made by several of our MPs in regards to, the fact that the population should accept these measures. I mean, we had the statements from MP for Tobago West, Shamfa who said that, we should be able to sacrifice for the younger generations coming up. You know, we had Minister Marvin Gonzalez, who also said that, you know, people should stop eating macaroni and ham so often. And, you know, if you listen to 40 Hour yesterday, we had some of our youth panelists that were on commenting on the budget and who was saying, you know, we don't enjoy those things very often. Because another comment that Mr. Gonzalez said, you know, people should stop going to movie town 3 times a week. But in reality, who does those things, you know, that often? And it seems as though we're getting that sense that those ministers are really out of touch, and it's also coming from the Prime Minister. I mean, it was unfortunate, as you heard from Julian this morning, it was unfortunate that he can make those comments about, you know, that Trinidad men that he would not subsidize the airfare for men in Trinidad to bring their mistresses over to Tobago to have a lime. So, no, I mean, and of course, this is a good point in time for you guys to call in. So the number should be up on the screen very soon so that you could come in. Oh, there it is. So 284-6597, 284-6597. So please join in the conversation. You know, how do you feel about these comments that are being made by our MPs? You know, there's that, I mean, the coal pot idea. I mean, the coal pot, if you have a coal pot, I mean, that's great. But if you have to go and purchase, you're seeing the prices up there up to $1,000 for a coal pot. And then coal itself is expensive. And not only is it expensive, it is bad for our environment. Like, we have long established that the coal is not the way, it should not be our source of fuel because of the impact that it has in our environment. You know, the pollution it causes, as well as the problems with our ozone layer and that sort of thing. So, I mean, and we've seen our ministers say, you know, go back to that, go and ride a bike, leave home earlier, or all these things, not realizing the impact that it's having. Because you see, all these methods, all these things, value is value. And it's nostalgic every now and again for us to go back. I mean, sometimes food doesn't taste as good as what it does when you cook it on a coal pot. I mean, there's a fact in that. But, you know, we're progressing in life. And a lot of the things that we have now, it's more to time saving. It's more for the convenience because, I mean, when you have to fire up a coal pot, it's not instant. It takes some time. But when you're, you know, trying to work 2 and 3 jobs, how are you going to have the time to fire up a coal pot to cook a meal for your family? You know, these things are impractical. So what say you? The numbers are on your screen, 284-6597 as well as 356-8833. So you could call in and, you know, give us our statements. Also, I mean, we have the budget debate happening in Parliament. And I mean, I think one of the unfortunate things that is happening is that we're not seeing our government MPs present us with practical ways in which that we can handle, us as citizens can handle the price increases that we're facing literally everywhere. Inflation is high, you know, and our salaries are remaining the same. It's getting harder and harder to gain more extra money, and then our spending capacity is smaller. So even if you decide to start a side hustle or, you know, be entrepreneurial, you might not be able to do so well because the spending power of the population is even less now with increased fuel prices. I mean, it is getting difficult for us here in society, but it seems as though we're not getting any real impactful help or, I mean, advice from our government MPs as to how we can mitigate these measures. Because at the end of the day, it's all about survival. And if we're not able to survive, the economy cannot thrive. If we're not able to have a good purchasing power, the economy cannot be successful. Businesses cannot be successful. We're hearing from the business community for years now that, you know, especially in Tobago, started with the problems on the sea bridge, you know, leading on to COVID-19 and so on. So it has really been affected our business here in business capabilities in Tobago. We're not able to really expand the way we should. You know, you sometimes you see people at the grocery stores and so on, and you see the numbers of people there. But when you look at, I mean, when you talk to the owners of grocery stores, they will tell you that people's spending habits are different. They're not buying the luxury items. They are going for the cheapest brands. So we have a caller on. So a special good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Not sure if the caller is still on. Okay, well, sorry you've lost that. And if you are trying to call this, go try again, please. The numbers again are 284-6597, 356-8833. I think we have them on the line. All right, there we go. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Candace. How are you this morning? Hello, good morning.
Caller. Yes, good morning. There we go.
All right, we can hear each other. Very good.
Yes, great.
The comment I want to make, Candace, with all this budget talk that I'm hearing, we know that, you know, it's really tough times we're in all around globally.
Yes.
However, one comment I heard from one of the Tobago Updates hosts that I happen to agree with is one of my pet peeves is that when countries are facing tough times, tough financial times. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, yes, a call was coming in. I just had to get rid of that. When countries are facing tough financial times, leadership, the quality leadership, I believe, should lead by example. When they're asking the population, the citizens, to tighten their belts and you know, as one, I think MP said, you know, ride bikes and go back to coal pots and all this sort of talk. They should lead by example, and they should tighten their belts. All of those perks that they're getting, the huge salaries that they're being paid, I think that they should constrain themselves as far as that's concerned. They're the leaders, and it should begin with them. They should take salary cuts. You know, they should give up some of those perks. Not everyone needs to be driven around by a chauffeur and things of that nature, free housing and all of those things. They should tighten their belts and put some of that money back into the treasury in order to augment the tough times that we're going through.
All right,
so that's my comment. Yeah, that's my comment on that, Candace. I think we should really start with the leadership. They should start with themselves, tightening their belts, showing the population that this is what we need to do at this time. We're facing tough times right now, and we, the leaders, are leading the way in tightening our belts. But what do we see?
You, caller.
We see the opposite.
Thank you, caller. We just have to move to another caller that's on the line that's been waiting. So good morning and welcome to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Right, you hear me, right?
Yes, hearing you.
Yeah, I was the caller, but I was hearing you, but you weren't hearing me. Yes, the previous caller,
okay, we seem to be losing you a little bit.
You hear me?
Okay, hearing you loud and clear now.
Right, yes. I said just as the previous caller, just following up on what he said, and the real out of timing, disrespectful statement from Scotland. You know, it was very insulting, and is like looking down on the people in the population, and they don't understand the kind of how the people see the statements. It was a really insulting statement, because I just want to remind the public in Trinidad and Tobago that when, you know, the thing with David Lee and the money with the exemption with some vehicle in Trinidad there. But there was a list published with all the ministers and MPs on the PNM side, showing the kind of exemptions that they receive on vehicles over, and it's more than one vehicle. Some of them have BMW and so on. Some of them as much as $1.9 million and so on. many of them well over $1 million in exemptions. Do you know how much people homes don't even value 500,000? And so when they're talking about that, they have to look at themselves and take the kind of the kind of cuts and so on and sacrifice as the population, because remember the population is our taxpayers' money paying them too. So while they're telling us to tighten our belts and and squeeze harder and only taxing the nation to death, you have to look at yourself and realize the money and the perks you're earning is also taxpayers' dollars. Yeah. So I just want people to be more sensitive, and I just want to say also great job going on by Fali Agustin and the assembly this morning. Continue to do the good work for Tobago.
Thank you so much, caller. And of course, you all viewers can join in the conversation. The numbers are 284-6597 or 356-8833. And yes, those are some of the comments from our callers in terms of, what are the ministers themselves willing to give up? Because let's be honest, a lot of them have so many allowances and perks, and of course that goes with the job because their jobs are very time demanding and so on. It's not quite an easy job to be an MP or a minister. However, they are benefiting from lots of tax breaks. Whether it's phone allowance, travel allowance, housing allowance, the list is long. We as a population, we do not benefit from that. In fact, we pay the taxes so that they can benefit. And it is the difference. So it's not the first time our country has gone through this period where we're facing increased prices. But we had that during the Robinson time. But the difference is that their ministers took a tax cut then. Now we have a caller on the line. Good morning and welcome to you.
Yes, good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. I'm calling from Trinidad. And I am disappointed. I'm 69 years old, and I grew up with the saying that once the premise of your argument is wrong, or you cannot make the rest of the statement correct, it turns everything upside down. If you were born before 1970, then you would know what it is to pay the real cost of everything in the market and with food and other things. If you were born in the 70s, when the oil dollars came in and flowing, then you benefit and the natural gas and all that, and the subsidies came into being, then all of your utilities, your education and everything were paid for by subsidies. Therefore, we have a generation from the 70s onwards who have never paid the actual price for anything. They are picking and going around in circles and trying to make a political argument. But simple economics will tell you that if you're not bringing in the right amount of money to manage your affairs, you're going to be in debt. Nobody is talking about the fact that we had a central bank governor who sat on his hands and came when the government changed to tell the Minister of Finance that you only have money to run the country for 3 days. Now, where would anybody, if someone were to come to you and tell you that your job is today might be the last day and you, because you have no money to pay you, what would be the situation? The fact is that government has to check their priorities. They have to borrow, and in order to mind the country. And if we have a country that was brought up on subsidies where you do not pay the actual cost for anything in this country from the 1970s onward, with all the benefits from oil and gas and the energy sector, now we are called upon to pay a little more because the subsidies are reduced. We are being hypocritical because we are not dealing with simple economics. If you were to go home right now and you realize somebody take all the money out of your bank account, what would be your situation? So unless you have a basic idea of a global situation and how it influences a country and influences leaders to make certain decisions, Once you're not in that hot seat, you would be able to make proper decision. And you will be just doing like many people just campaign around and say why they don't take a cut, why they don't take a cut. Who's this they they're talking about? It's the same tax people, the who manage the economy are taxpayers too, the opposition and those in government. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. Our viewers, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back after this with some more conversation.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, Tobago, and I just want to thank the callers that called in our last segment. But we're moving on a little bit to and returning back to agriculture, but specifically fish. So we're speaking with Mr. Ricardo Alfred, and of course he's the chairman of TADCO and very responsible for the capital of Paradise. And we've been hearing continuously over the past few months some good news coming out of the capital of Paradise, which means revenue for Tobago. So good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Alfred. How are you doing?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me properly?
Hearing you loud and clear.
Yes, good morning. So good morning to the Tobago and
Great.
all the viewers.
Great. So what's the update on the capital of Paradise? I know you guys just came back in with another catch. Is this bigger than the previous months?
Yes, so just to go back a little, what we have to keep in mind is that the vessel was down for just under 4.5 years. So it was very important that it was to gradually bring the vessel out, and put certain mediums and measures in place. So the vessel came back, went out. It left on the first week in September and came back just at the end of September there. They went further. They went close to about 200 miles off of Brazil, very close to Suriname, around that area.
Wow.
In which they were able to catch about 7,700 pounds of fish. 7,100 of it was exported, and the rest was sent to Tobago. So the vessel did very well.
And what's the value of that sale?
Right. So the 7,100 pounds. I have not received the confirmed figures, but our estimate is always less than the confirmed figures. I always go at the minimum. So it's a minimum of 42,000 US from that catch. I mean, I would tell you right now that so far, since the vessel came back out just a short couple months ago, we would have made an estimated of just under 90,000 US, which is about close to 580 something thousand. So the vessel is doing well. It has a lot of potential. We are entering some talks and negotiation with various Caribbean countries who actually need fish. So there's a lot of room there where we could actually earn revenue especially on the forex exchange. So there's a lot of work and decisions and communication going to be coming to you guys very soon where that is concerned. But
We're
we have to
certainly looking
maximize
forward
and
for that.
yeah.
But I mean, I also want to ask you though. I mean, in looking at the records from previous to the 4 years ago before the vessel was down, did the vessel ever make this amount of money in catch, like what we're seeing today? Okay, I think we just lost Mr. Alfred. It seems to be the trend for this morning, unfortunately. But I mean, we were getting into some conversations about the capital paradise, just in case you've been just joining us. And what he was saying is that, so far for the past, let's say about 4 months, if I might be wrong, probably about 4 months, we've been making about 90,000 US dollars in catch from the capital of paradise. I mean, that is really good news. I don't think, and I was trying to get that answer for him, but as far as I am aware, I don't think that we've been able to make that kind of money when the capital paradise was in operation. Okay, I think we got
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Alfred back.
Right. So I heard the question. However, I can't really comment on it. I can't comment on what happened previous years. I don't have that data, so I would I will leave that comment blank because I really don't have the data.
Okay. Now, so we're guessing this amount of money. Where is that money going? Is that going directly back to the treasury of the THA, or is it staying with TADCO to invest in more projects?
Right. So TADCO is a company under the Companies Act, and we have accounts on the US account and that type of stuff. So that money is going back into our coffers so that we are able to, into repairs of the vessel. See, I would have given you how much money it would have made, but keep in mind that the vessel was down for 4.5 years. So you have anything that is done for such a long time, will require some repair. So you have some pumps that needed to be changed. You had some shafts that were a bit rusted. Some hydraulic lines that need to change. There's some stuff that needs to be done to bring it back up to its glory. But it's getting there. So we're going to be doing it over a gradual period. For anyone who owns anything on the marine as regards to boat, I refer to a boat as, bring out the other 1,000. That's my determination of a boat. So there's a lot of things happening, but the money stays with us to better invest to do some other stuff because we have a poultry initiative that we're going to be talking about soon. That is definite benefit for the island of Tobago.
Great. I mean, that is wonderful news to hear. And we're seeing that TADCO is getting closer to its goal of becoming a sustainable entity.
Yes, that is the aim. That is the vision.
Great. I mean, and then, so how soon can we see, that money actually coming back to the company itself? So, I mean, mean to say, how soon can we get the repairs done or the vessel to a point where it is okay, and then the excess profits can come back into the company?
Right. So we are there. I would say we are there. We are 90% there. The vessel will be going back out in a couple of days again. The guys are very eager to go back out. So the vessel is going to go back out. I mean, when they go out, I monitor them in terms of where they're going. There's a satellite phone, so I would call them from time to time to give them the weather patterns and what is happening out there and that type of information. So we are in perfect conversation. The monies will come. What we have done, we have actually separated TADCO into all the different units, so we can definitely identify.
Okay, unfortunately, we seem to have lost Mr. Alfred again. But I mean, like I said, we've been getting into some good conversations, some positive news about the capital of paradise. For years, the capital of paradise has been like a sore spot within our space, but we're seeing now under the leadership of TADCO and of course Mr. Ricardo Alfred and the initiatives that he has put in place, that we're seeing success with the capital of paradise. We're seeing profits coming in. And, you know, of course, it's taken a while to get the vessel back into full operation. However, we're getting there. And we're seeing that, you know, Tobago is finally starting to make some money. All right, so now, I mean, the phone lines are open, and I think that we have a caller online. So a special good morning and welcome to... Okay, we don't have a caller online, sorry. I misheard that. But yes, the phone lines are open, people. 284-6597 or 356-8833. So you can join in our conversation. Again, I mean, we have to continue working towards building our society to where we have a food security net, reduce our imports bill, because we know that U.S. is very hard to come by. And if you are a business owner and you're trying to, or if you're just somebody who wants to travel, you know how difficult it is to get U.S. within our country. And I mean, the government has been very good, I should say, in terms of you know, letting out or allowing people to access foreign exchange. Of course, it's been a sore spot, but we have a caller online. So good morning and welcome to you, caller.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm calling from Trinidad.
Go ahead.
I'm a Tobago and I live in Trinidad. I watch the program almost every day when I could.
Thank you.
So I would like to speak to the moderator, Ms. Candice.
Yeah, so you're speaking to Candice. Well, I am Candice.
I'm speaking to Ms. Candice?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I watching the TV and I not hear you talking to me. You're still talking about the program.
Just listen on the phone. Don't listen on the TV. Listen on the phone.
Okay, Ms. Candice, I want to say how you are so pleasant.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're so pleasant and you ask relevant questions in your interview. I watch you every other day or when I could. I'm a Tobago and I live in Trinidad most of my life, but I keep in touch on the ground with what's taking place in Tobago. I'm so proud of how you conduct yourself, and your television station have a very high standard. That's what I look at, and you bring on a lot of people who could articulate on your program, you know. I'm so proud of what you're doing in Tobago. I want to say thanks to Mr. Alfred and his team, because that fishing industry, I have watched a program called Dangerous Catch.
Yes.
And I see where the price of tuna is so high in America. So you just tap into that market, you know, and they're doing a very, very good job. What they need to get is a fleet. Because I remember in Trinidad when they had their fisheries operating down in Sealand, the Taiwanese used to come here and do fishing, long line fishing, and spend days outside and sell back the goods to America. So they're a good program. They're a good setting, you know.
Well, we certainly hope that they can go in that direction, and it looks like it is poised to get there.
Yeah, I feel they have a good team on board. They just need to get a few fleet out there, and things would happen, because fish is a very expensive commodity. Right? I'll call back the next time, but I'm very proud of what you're doing for Tobago. You from Tobago? You born in Tobago?
I was born in Trinidad, but I grew up in Tobago.
Very good. I've seen the fish and provision in your demeanor. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for your
support. I hope when I come to Tobago, I could be able to meet you. My mom is in Tobago. She's 91. So I had to come and look for her right just now.
All right, thank you so much. All right, I'm kind of speechless after that one. But viewers, yes, the phone lines are still open. 284-6597 or 356-8833. Call in and give your comments. We are continue to talk about the budget. You know, I mean, the budget debate continues. We still have a lot of more ministers to speak and to give their bits on what their respective ministries are going to be doing, and to just break down the budget presentation a little bit more. You know, yesterday we had Minister of Transport, and I was able to only catch a bit of it because he was speaking during the news time, and I need to go back and catch some more of it. But he was speaking to just, you know, the improved infrastructure, road infrastructure in the country, and you know that that port that they are looking to build in Togo. As we know that the PNM administration for several years now have been speaking to building a port in Togo that would connect to Tobago. So, you know, the Galleon's Passage that sometimes run on our seas, that is supposed to, the aim of purchasing that vessel is to run between Scarborough and Togo. So we're seeing progress where that is concerned. You know, I mean, there are mixed views on that port in Togo, because there are some people that are saying that, you know, the reason why they need to go to Port of Spain is because a lot of the services they need to access is in Port of Spain. So it's easier to go to Port of Spain and then walk off the vessel and then walk to wherever they need to go get their business done and then walk back on to the ferry. But some, of course, for some persons, you know, they're saying that the journey would be shorter because it would take approximately 1 hour between Scarborough and Togo. And then, I mean, there's going to be that an improved road infrastructure between Togo and Valencia. So, I mean, you know, there's some things that are happening within our space. Now, right, and we also heard from the Attorney General. He said something very interesting yesterday. Well, sorry, not the Attorney General, Mr. Faris Arari, and he's the Minister for Local Government. And that was in terms of, I mean, increased monies for the regional corporations, where they are looking to greater autonomy that would look similar to that of the Tobago House of Assembly. And they know that that's been a sticking point. So, you know, there are some people that are saying, well, if the regional corporations can get more money, then why not the THA? But that could be a conversation for another time. In the meantime, it was a pleasure connecting with some of our viewers. We are so grateful for your support every day. I mean, it's the reason why we're doing what we're doing, and we're going to continue to bringing to you excellent programs, the highest quality. Can't get anywhere. Only on Tobago Updates you can get this kind of a thing. So continue to be with us, continue to support us. Have a wonderful, safe, and productive day. And of course, we see you again in tomorrow. Tomorrow is Youth Wednesdays, but don't worry, I would also be here at 8 after the youth. So see you again tomorrow. And viewers, like I said, it's been a wonderful time being with you this morning. Bye for now.
No denying Tobago is number one.